You need to work harder, be more driven, and remember the reason you got the job in the first place, to do your job. This is how some human resource managers go about dealing with poor employee performance. Sometimes, managers tend to believe the key to getting workers to perform at their optimum level is as simple as lecturing staff about working harder without taking responsibility for their role as human resource managers. However, my goal is to convince you to do otherwise. My name is Jessica Russell, and I am a management graduate student at the University of the West Indies Open Campus, and I will be speaking on why organizations are ultimately responsible for employees performing optimally. Organizations determine how employees perform because of these 3 points. They are responsible for recruitment, motivating staff, and evaluating employees' performance. Now let's get into the details of my first point. Management plays a role in determining employee performance because management is responsible for recruitment. So there is a vacancy at your organization, and you prepare a description of the vacant post and the job specifications. You would have better knowledge of your organization than I do, and depending on what you know about current employees and the new post, you advertise internally and or externally for candidates to apply for the post. Then you review the applicants and shortlist who you think will be a best fit for the organization. Now it's time for what many people rather, think is a determining factor, the interview. According to recruiterbox.com, many managers will decide on who gets the job based simply on how well someone engages in an interview. However, when it comes to job roles, there isn't a one-size-fits-all type of option. As much as we may be sold on someone's personality and charm, which can admittedly make a person more desirable to work with, this can present a false view of how a person will perform on the job. As human resource managers, our understanding of an available job when looking for people to fill a particular role should extend beyond just job specifications and job descriptions. RecruiterBox says it is up to you as a manager to know what behavior traits and skills are needed to complete a job. If you are interviewing for a technician to work in-house, depending on an interview to determine who will be the best performer can cause you to experience acceptance error, according to University of the West Indies management lecturer Claudia Drakes. Although someone with sublime communication skills is definitely prized, you have to tailor your screening process to reflect the task employees should perform. Management not taking the time to customize screening techniques to increase the likelihood of the best candidates getting the job affects how employees will perform once they get the job. Another reason why management is responsible for employees' performance is because management is responsible for motivating staff. American psychologist Abraham Maslow came up with a 5-tier hierarchy of needs which look at factors which influence a worker's performance. In an article on managementisajourney.com, Robert Tanner mentioned how management can play a role in motivating staff by reviewing the needs highlighted in Maslow's hierarchy. So let's look at what Maslow would have identified as human needs which serve as motivators. On the lower level, there are physiological needs which have to do with our survival as human beings, such as food and water. As employers, we should ensure our wages and salaries are meeting minimum standards required by law, which ought to help workers fulfill these needs. Upper level from physiological needs are safety needs, which covers quite a wide scope. However, as employers, we can play our part by ensuring workers are safe at work. This includes ensuring staff is in a facility that complies with safety standards and that appropriate equipment and training are provided for high-risk jobs. No one wants to work in an environment where they feel that their safety or health is being threatened or unsafe, or that they are in an unsafe environment, which can result in high levels of absenteeism, which affects worker productivity. Belonging is the next need identified. Management can involve workers in decision-making to ensure this need is being met. According to Maslow, workers have esteem needs and want to be recognized for their work. A simple initiative, such as an employee of the quarter system, can help workers to achieve this. The final need identified in the theory is self-actualization, which relates to staff reaching their full potential. Providing staff with new challenges and opportunities can assist in this area. You can therefore see there are numerous means by which management can motivate staff on every level, as identified by Maslow, therefore solidifying management's culpability in staff performance. Management also holds responsibility for evaluating staff performance. The organization is the entity which decides if an employee is meeting expectations. management should assess workers based on predetermined goals and be able to identify employee weak points, recommend training, and assess workers after training according to management lecturer Claudia Drakes. It is management that is responsible for ensuring staff are provided with enough information and tools to perform well, for letting staff know whether their performance is up to par so they can adjust their behavior accordingly. Despite the belief that employees should be expected to perform optimally simply because they are employed, the evidence presented shows organizations are ultimately responsible for employee performance. While it is fair to expect workers to perform tasks well, it is important that we recognize the nature of human behavior and that there are tools which are available to yield the most favorable performance from employees. Organizations have the tools to influence how employees perform by choosing who they employ, if and how employees are motivated, and are also the ones to assess staff performance. Given the tools available to management to yield optimal performance from staff, I recommend management use them.